Hi, this unit is going to be very simple. I'm just going to introduce few products, few apps that you can use to manage your user stories, your tasks, and typically the entire project management that goes into building a product. The most popular, the most used product um, between product manager and a developer is JIRA. JIRA is has a very rich history. I would suggest that you check it out. It is currently maintained and built by Atlassian. It's an agile project management and issue tracking platform. So you can create bugs and issues and tasks and user stories on Jira. Uh, Over the past couple of years, they have made significant changes in their product and it is continuously upgrading. So keeping the videos and keeping the content consistent with them is a little difficult. But I just want to introduce you to the broad structure of Jira so that you don't get confused. Jira is well known for its clunky interface and for a pretty confusing hierarchy of how exactly things are structured, and that is what I would like to cover in the current session. Rest, I would suggest that you have a go at Jira and explore by yourself. So it's a the reason why Jira is so popular is because it was the first fully comprehensive tool which did everything end to end, which also means that it was pretty complicated, and which also means that because everybody used Jira, so nobody wanted to leave Jira, and there was no successful or no, I would say, comprehensive tool that could replace Jira, and that's why it stayed with us. A lot of developers hate it, um, and a lot of people just love it. So there's a good, solid school of thought for and against Jira. So what are the things that you can do in Jira? Number one, you can do issue tracking. So you can set up tasks, or you can set up issues, or you can set up bugs, and then you can track. You can also assign estimates, you can assign importance, you can assign a lot of things to the issue, and then you can track when and how it got actually solved. You can do agile project management completely. You can define projects, you can define user stories, you can define epics, and you can assign tasks within user stories. You can do plenty of things, and then you can also integrate Jira with a lot of other tools, which makes it much more easier because then you can, whenever a ticket gets updated, you can actually get that update in your Slack or in your any other tool that you might be using. It's very, very extensively integrated. And then finally, there is a Kanban board as well, which increases productivity. Kanban board, just a quick reminder, Kanban board is basically it's a tool which allows smooth movement of tasks or activities from one stage to the another stage. Typically, a Kanban board will have three columns of to do, doing, and done. So to do is basically the backlog, doing is what you're working on, and done is what has been done. So when you use Kanban board, it makes it much easier to actually smoothly transition from, okay, I want to do task one, task two, task three, task four. You made a to do, and then you start moving to do one to doing, and then you start working on it. At times, certain companies will put a certain limit on the doing column, that how many tasks can you do at a certain point of time. They do it because so that if there is, let's say, if there's a if there's a task that gets stuck, the task number three is stuck on. So at a time, only one task can be in the doing list. Let's say if everything is good, then the uh, frequency or the velocity at which new tasks are being added to the to-do list, to the backlog, would roughly be equal to the number of tasks that are getting into the doing and then done. So there is no I would say huge backlog that will be created, right? Huge backlog will be created only if the task in the second column, that is doing, is not getting completed, right? And that is why Kanban board is very effectively used for execution, at the execution stage. That whenever a task is stuck, then the backlog will start blowing up, and then the engineering manager, the VP, or somebody else can start looking into the situation to know that, okay, this backlog should have been just 10 tickets by now. Why is it 20 tickets? Because the one task is stuck and the developer is not able to solve it. So then somebody else can jump in and try to solve it. Okay, so all of this is doable in Jira. You can use Trello also for Kanban board, but Jira is way more. It's a Swiss knife. You can practically do anything. It has brilliant reporting. It has a lot of things. I would suggest that you go through the video by yourself. And there are newer videos that are being produced by Atlassian. I'll suggest that you can actually check the latest video from Jira directly. Of lately, they have been threatened a lot by a lot of new products, and that's why they're updating Jira very very frequently. But having said all and done, effectively entire Jira is divided into four levels. Okay, at the top is project categories, then you have projects, and then within projects you have versions and you have components. Components are essentially subsections that, um, let's say you can have a login module or login component, you can have a payment component, you can have a search component. So you can have components, and then you have versions for each of these components, and sometimes in certain companies versions for the entire integrated product and not for separate components. Depends on the company to company. In my opinion, version should be for different components and should also be for the entire integrated product. Then in level 3, you have issues corresponding to a certain component and a certain version typically. Then within issues, there are issue types, and then issue types will have subtasks. Okay, this is the structure. As if you understand this, you'll when you get into Jira and you start exploring it, it will not be too confusing for you. And this is the most common workflow of a typical Jira ticket. But this is just a representation. In reality, this is heavily modifiable. You will design it in so many ways. You can design it so many ways. Um, and depending on your own workflow, how exactly it works. So, for example, from open to in progress, from in progress to resolved, and then resolved. Before it is reopened, it should be sent to some VP or sent to somebody else. You can have anything and everything, but this is just a representation of typical workflow. These are the four other tools beyond Jira, which are very solid alternatives to Jira. And like I was telling you just now, of lately, Jira has been threatened. Atlassian has been threatened by a lot of these alternate, very awesome products which have come in, which do not have the clunkiness or the legacy or the backlog of Jira, and that's why they are being widely accepted in the developer community. And that's why Atlassian is also making a lot of efforts to come back in the and become favorites of the new age developers who are coming in. Trello, Asana, Zoho, and Airtable, all of them are really popular. I'll suggest, I'm sure you would have heard of Trello. I'll suggest that you check out Airtable. It's pretty interesting. It's a very interesting product. Not much to conclude here. Jira is a tool that you would have to. Um, so one of the tools with a Jira or one of these Trello or Asana or one of these tools, you will have to get used to. But at the end of the day, understand that the tool is just a means. You need to have a good grasp of what a user story should be, what a task should be, how do you measure it, and how do you estimate it. That's pretty much it. Today it's Jira, tomorrow it will be some other tool. That will keep changing, but your concept remains concept. 20 years back, how to write stories was the same. Today, how to write stories is the same. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you.